Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DKMN Esports League. We're here for round number 6 of the Elite Series in Season 3, and we're here for the Melbourne Grand Prix. We go to Australia for round number 6. My name is Ivory Mike, going to be taking you through the action, and joined alongside with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, is Mr. SG. How are you doing, SG?
Yeah, good, Mike. Looking very, very forward to this one. Obviously, last week, you had that very, very close finish between Artem Smalley Balls last week. So it was going to be a very interesting one to see how it goes this week at the lovely Albert Park.
Yeah, absolutely. And Albert Park, and oh my heavens have opened up above. The rain is thundering down, and it's looking like a very wet and tricky conditions for the drivers out there. Is this going to be full wet? It is full wet. It's the full wet compound tyre.
Absolutely chucking it down in Australia. As we know, they normally get the sunshine, but definitely it's changed from sunshine to massive rain clouds. It'll be very interesting to see what the race is going to do, though. But qualifying is going to be a very interesting one, I must say, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not going to be any dry running in this session. Are we going to get a wet race as well? That could be another thing that gets thrown up there. And I am incredibly interested to see what's going to go on here, as it is absolutely chucking it down. But what we'll do while everyone is still in the garage, what we'll do is run you through the standings as they are currently now. So CPI Esports leads the way on 100 points, and in second place is Juventus Racing on 68 points. WOR, with a couple of good performances in the last couple of races, have jumped themselves up into third on 52 points. 49 points for NLR, and then we got RCR on 44 points in 5th place. IRT in 6th on 38 points, and 36 points for the ET8 Esports team. Then in 8th place we have X Esports on 7 points, TTL Esports on 4 points, and then Racing Venturi on 0 points at the back. But the heavens have opened. It is absolutely chucking it down. Honestly, this is very familiar weather for me. I can't lie.
Not for me. I don't think I've ever done a race in the wet in Australia, as we just about to see a Red Bull coming out of the pits. But not for me. I've never done a wet race in Australia at all. So this is a new one for me, and I'm actually quite excited because for wets and in quali, anything could happen in these conditions, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything can and will happen in these conditions. And obviously, looking at the track in question, as we are on board with CPI Mikela there in the Red Bull. Looking at the track in question, 5.3 kilometer circuit. First made this appearance back in 1996. It was the traditional season opener way back when. And it was a very good opener, and of course layout changes that have happened in recent years. They took away the old chicane after turn 8. They've made the track wider in parts of the track, but now it's just a fantastic run from turn 8 all the way to what is now turn 9, turn 10, the fast left right chicane, and that's going to catch a few people out. I can assure you of that, especially in these conditions. It's already bad enough trying to go through there in the dry, and we are going to be seeing a lot of action. Of course, there are several DRS zones, 4 on the track to be precise, and only 2 detection points. So good opportunity to get ahead and stay ahead if you're the car directly behind, as we got Mikela about to start us on a lap.
Yeah, no, that's going to be really interesting. That graveyard is going to be very, very dangerous coming through there. Obviously, that, like you're saying, that new part of the track in Sector 2 is picking up so much more pace now with that extra part of the DRS going in. Obviously, in wet conditions, it's going to be a bit more difficult. But yeah, I definitely think the graveyard is going to. It takes a lot of people in that area, and obviously they've redefined it, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they go. But it's great to see Mick Killer back in the car as well this week, so yeah, he'll be one to watch out for, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we're going to see what the first sector split is going to be. It's a 32 flat in the first sector, and it looks like RCR Matt Zozo has chucked on a set of intermediate, so maybe towards the end of the session it will get later, but Mikela out there right now on a set of full wet compound tyres. Let's see what this middle sector split is going to say as we approach turn 9 and 10. It's a 51 in the middle sector and a big snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 10, and that is the tricky thing when it comes to these corners. Of course, this corner now, turn 11, has been reprofiled. It's a lot sharper on the apex now, so definitely going to be a tricky one to go side by side there now as we come through the penultimate corner with Mikela. Very easy on the traction, and now it's just about getting the car rotated through the final corner on the throttle to the line for CPI Mikela, and it's going to be a 1 minute 30.8 to get us underway.
Yeah, good banker. It's going to be interesting. He's obviously lost a little bit of time there, going on, losing the understeer, but there you can see there, ET8 Tajin, obviously last week didn't have the best of races, did he? He obviously fell quite far down the back compared to his teammate Mohammed, but obviously a completely different lineup. But there you go, a 1:29. This guy absolutely dominated last week from start to finish until the final end. Artem is probably going to be one of the favourites here. 1:29.733. Are we probably looking at the low 29s or the mid 29s, Mike?
It all depends on what the conditions are going to be like throughout the entirety of the race. We're seeing cars losing control. That was Mikela, I believe, that lost it through turn 8 on the mini-map. But yeah, right now conditions are just going to be absolutely horrible for these guys, and they're just going to have to kind of try to tiptoe their way around it, build up the confidence. So we could be seeing low 29s, but of course if the conditions improve and we go into Inters, we should be seeing the lap times begin to tumble down.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think the guys will take it a little bit easy on the first lap, and you'll start to see probably a little bit more of a push. But yeah, going on those inters is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, how are you going to time that right at the moment? Obviously, it is coming down. You can still see there is big puddles on the track at the moment. So I would definitely say inters is not the way forward. As you can see, puddles coming into Sector 2 as well. Not massive puddles, but there are still puddles.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, just looking at the chat right now, we got Shane J in the chat saying wow, and that's obviously in reference to the conditions in which we are driving in right now. So I'm on board with Henhide, who gets a little bit out of shape coming into turn 11 there. A little bit indecisive on when to turn in, but able to keep it all valid. Got a car in front of him that he hopes stays out of the way, and yeah, it comes into the pits, and a big wheel spin moment as we got ET8 Krypton in the chat as well. Also going to be showing support for his fellow ET8 compadres in Tajin and Brandox.
I've also noticed as well, Mike, there's a few invalidations coming through as well. Cappy has invalidated. We've seen Tobal, NLR Toby, has invalidated. JR Rose has invalidated. Mysterian, Bell, X Debris. You know, a lot of guys invalidating. Artem is invalidated as well on a flyer, which looks like it. Well, it could be a flyer. Oh no, he's low on fuel. So there's a lot of validations and a lot of oversteer coming out of that Sector 3 on that lovely new corner as well of Australia. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go again on another flyer. But yeah, a few invalidations I'm seeing at the moment, Mike.
Yeah, and that's obviously going to be down to the conditions. Going through some of these corners, the car just wants to slide out all the time, and we don't know whether it's going to be a dry race, so they could be using a full dry setup in qualifying, which obviously will hinder their abilities to get around the track in a nice calm manner. So maybe that's contributing to the invalidations. We've got two drivers in the pit lane right now, and that's NLR Toby and IRT Wessel, who have put on a set of intermediates. So maybe an indicator that it will go to Indus. Now, if I was out there on track and I knew it was going to go to Indus, I would probably would have fueled my car up for several runs on the wet just to make sure I was able to build up the confidence on the wet tyre. Just get a lap on the board, build up the confidence, and then when you switch over to Indus, you'll have so much more grip and you'll be able to push it just a little bit further.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. You can definitely see now it's starting to ease up a little bit. Obviously, it's coming down still. The rain is coming down, and there is still puddles, but you can start to see a dry line start to perform. I'm just going to see who's on the lap at the moment on the wet. So we've got Brando. He's on the wets at the moment. Brando, yep, that's it. Brando. He's in the on the wets at the moment in the Ferrari. He's coming around into Sector 3. He's come very wide out that corner there. It'll be interesting to see what time he's going to put across the board. He might go straight into the pits, but this will give us a bit of indication of where it's at. Yeah, and there you go. He's straight in. So there's a few guys. Is there anyone on a lap, Mike, at the moment that's on the wet on a flyer?
Yeah, Haribo on a lap right now, coming through the final corner. Obviously, with the track improving, the times are going to get quicker, but it is going to be a crossover point between the wets and the intermediates. We have Toby, I believe, with the first one out there, as Haribo goes up into P6 on a 31.3. Toby right now on a set of Indus, so this is the guy to keep an eye on, because this will be the first indication of the Indus being the quicker tyre.
Right, well, let's see how this man goes in the Aston Martin. Obviously invalidated the first lap, which is not the best as always, because you want to get that confidence. You want to try and be able to get around the track without an invalidation. But yeah, let's see how he goes. He's coming around the final corner now to start. This will be a massive indication. He's either going to lose time or gain time. Coming up now, let's have a look. Going into the first sector. Takes it nice there, rides a little bit of the curb. You've got to be careful not to go too far to the outside, because it does push you quite far to the outside when you're coming out on the exit. Going into the lovely tight chicane now into Sector 1, and this is probably my worst part of the track. Oh, there you can see a little bit of a snapback. Could have lost a couple of attempts there. Now coming through this part here, you've got to take it really careful. Even though coming through there, I've seen a lot of cars going into the wall in that Sector 2, and he's up by quite some margin. So and there you go, he's invalidated, and we're not going to be able to get to see it, Mike, unfortunately.
Of course, he was over 8 seconds up in Sector 1. Of course, with his time being considerably off the pace, definitely would have been a interesting one. Heinheld as obviously invalidated as well. We got Matt Zorro out there still going around on on the wet tyre. A lot of guys out there now on outlaps on the intermediate, so we should start to see these times begin to fall down. We've got just under 5 minutes to go in the session. Currently Artem is out in provisional pole position, only by 600 of a second though, ahead of Tajin.
Yeah, and you can see those guys still at the top are still on those wets, so they've decided to stay on them, which is an interesting one. But now they can see there's a few invalidations. Tajin is on the inters, Artem is on the inters, Haribo at the moment is still on those wets, so he's now coming into Sector 3, obviously running low on fuel, but we should see Adam's coming in, so he's not going to go on a lap. What about Mattozo. Looks like he's about to come in as well, so we're not seeing anyone do it, but here we go. Let's see what Heine Hein does. So he's now coming on to his first lap on the inters. No invalidation, hopefully no invalidation, but there you go. It's very wide again coming into sector 1. Now, people are taking those corners a little bit too wide, which is making them invalidate and losing a little bit of time, but let's see what his first sector time is. And this is the part, again, like I said, coming through the lovely two curbs and normally a car into the wall, but sector 1 looking pretty good. He's only 5.5 temps up, so it doesn't give us a big indication at the moment. Obviously DRS is enabled, he's not going to disabled, he's not going to get any DRS currently, but coming through into sector 2, coming towards the lovely graveyard. How is he going to take this? He's going to ease off right a little bit at the curb there, trying to get on the outside, and yep, so far so good, coming into sector 3 very shortly, and we're about to see, Mike, of what the time is looking at.
Yeah, and of course, losing Toby in the session looked like he lost it coming onto the pit straight, so maybe just getting a little bit too greedy on the throttle. Hein now coming through the final 2 corners, through the penultimate corner, now into the final corner. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo can do as he comes to the line. Is it going to be a new pole time? No, it's not, but 1.8 second improvement, definitely something to keep an eye on. Evelyn has improved and gone up into P3 on a 30.3. Now I want to see what this man can do. Tajin, 3 temps up, so it is marginally quicker being on the Inders at the moment, and we're going to see times continue to improve as we go through the session, but this might just be an indication of you just have to get out there at the right time and get that lap in at the right moment.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like that. Heine Hein obviously had a really, really good lap, but then he started to make a few mistakes. Obviously lost the back end out a little bit, and there you go. There's your answer to Tajin. He's gone pole with a 1:29.1.
Tajin improving. Braddock goes up into P2 at 29.5. So we are starting to see the times come down. Obviously, it's not massive time jumps yet, but it is still, in my opinion, I think it's still in that kind of crossover period of the wets and the Inders.
Yeah, it's still damp, you know. And the rain's still coming down. I'm not seeing many puddles at the moment, so I'm starting to see a dry line, but obviously you've just been separated there between the 2 Ferraris with NLR Nojag, where he's just come straight through the middle with a 29.3. Adam at the moment, I'm just trying to see where he's at. He's in his sector 2 at the moment. This will give us a bit of an indication if he's going to be able to take pole, because at the moment it's a dominating performance from the Ferrari, but yeah, like you said, it's difference between the inters and the wets of when you're going to time it. Obviously more puddles on the track will be for the wets, but there you go. Look, 6.5 temps for Artem, and I would definitely say that this man is going to get pole unless he doesn't make any mistakes right near the end, Mike.
Yep, so coming down into turn 11, and oh my god, that's a big lock up into turn 11, and it looked like he tapped the wall as well, and that is not what Artem would have wanted. He should have enough time that he can go again, but yeah, that's not going to fill him with much confidence, as it's definitely going to be an interesting one, as we have been joined by CPI Bothram, so there is another driver from CPI that's going to be coming in. Checker flag is out now in the session as we look for the cars coming to the end. It's an Alpha Tauri coming to the final corner, and that is going to be Majin, and he improves to 15th. McLaren coming to the line now. In fact, that is going to be Matt coming into the pits. Mercedes coming to the line. Is that going to be Evoline? Yes, it is, to the line, and goes up into P3. There's an Alfa Romeo now to the line of Hein. 3 temps up, just under 4 temps up, and to the line, half a second up. Good improvement there. Haas coming to the line now of Haribo. Through the final corner is Haribo. going to be able to find the time to get himself up the order. Comes to the line now. Up into P2
Keep an eye on the
for
Williams.
Hybo.
Keep an eye on the Williams. There you
Happy.
go. 6.5 tenths on that last corner. Absolutely a perfect lap by him. I was just watching him follow around there, Mike, and it was perfect. So Inters really did work near the end, and I've got to say, at the end of sector 2 and 3 is where most of the guys were losing it. And there you go. Another... Oh my God, it's changed again.
And you
Is Adam going to be able to do it?
Adam has just smashed it right at the end. Adam for Juventus Racing takes away pole position. My God, what an exciting end to that qualifying that we just had. And we're running through the order right now. It is Adam who takes a pole position ahead of Braddock's in second place, who will join him on the front row. Then we got ETA Tajin and IRT Cappy on the second row, with Me Killer in fifth, Hybo in sixth, No Jug in seventh, with Everline in eighth, Hyde in ninth, and Bell in 10th. Outside the top 10 we have Neil Shendrick, Raul Ritz, Matt Zozo, Wessel, Majin, Kiki, Toby, the Mysterion, and rounding up the back of the grid it is Bree. And of course the Mysterion and Bree unable to get a lap time on the board in the end. The IRT driver and of course the X Esports driver. That's gonna be an interesting one to see if these two drivers can get their way through the field. But my God, what an end to that qualifying that we had. Literally everyone just finding the time on the final runs, and that's exactly what I said. And oh my God, is intermediate conditions for the actual race as well. The weather is playing a factor here in Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. That was such a great closing stages of the qualifying. Obviously, you thought the Williams had it, and then the two Ferraris then knocked up on there. And then Adam again obviously came out and performed a great lap. But yeah, definitely, it's going to be a very, very interesting race, and I definitely see that we're going to see a lot of mistakes happen. Obviously, the guys seemed a little bit nervous and around about that sector 2, sector 3 time, obviously losing the back ends quite a lot. So I think they're going to be very cagey going into the first corner there, Mike.
Yeah, everyone's got to be on their best behaviour going down in towards turn 1. Obviously, you want to be keeping it clean. And of course, on the run down in towards turn 3 is definitely going to be another area to keep an eye on. We saw a lot of rear lock-in here in qualifying, as we're waiting to see what's going to happen now. But yeah, there was a lot of rear locking in qualifying, which caught a lot of drivers out, and if we see that in the race, it's definitely going to make things very tricky for the car following. But we should be going into the race soon. I'm not quite sure what the hold up is, but if it is going to be a full intermediate conditions for the entire race, it definitely is going to throw a big dynamic into it.
Oh yeah, definitely. With that DRS being disabled as well, it's all going to be about how you use your ERS and how you're going to be just skillful on the track using your racecraft and your race etiquette. And it's going to give other people more opportunity at the back more, because if they see the mistakes happen in front, they're going to be able to get in front of those cars. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Adam gets away from the start. Obviously, there is that turn 1 as we've seen a safety car restart. I remember in Australia, I think it was either this season, Gasly and Ocon for Alpine obviously didn't have a great start and ended up crashing into each other on the safety car restart, which I think it was 3 safety car restarts in Australia in the dry, I must say, in the real F1. So in the wet conditions, and Inters is going to be very interesting, definitely on that turn 1. And I would say, I think, I'm not gonna say too much, but I think one of the Ferraris, it might pip him to the first bit of the corner.
Yep, potentially. Here we go now to those 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway here for round number 6 at Australia as we run down into turn 1. Looks like Artem has got the run, but as you mentioned, that inside, Braddock's is going to be able to hang it around the outside of turn 2 and he's going to be pushing the Mercedes. It's Mercedes versus Ferrari. Where have we seen that before?
Oh, we've seen it so many times, and there you go. Look, he's gone for the. He's still trying to push him around the outside, and this is only even on the first lap. And Brando is all right there, but I tell you something, Tajin is right there, and so is the Williams. 3-second time penalty already. Doesn't look that bad out there, so this will still be an interesting. But there you go, Kaipi has literally just flown past the Tajin there in the Ferrari, so already making moves. That Williams is going to be one to watch out for, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, what we saw there was a small mistake from Tajin, and it just opened the door there for Kaipi to come through and take that P3. But Tajin is trying to come back on the ERS. Going to try for a lunge down the inside, but not close enough to make a move. Bell getting through on Mikela for P6 as well. And of course, this is big in terms of the team standings, because obviously, what's called, I believe it's B Tom down in P14 right now. Obviously, Mikela losing his places, and obviously his teammate being down Yoda, having started at the back after joining the session a bit late, is definitely going to open things up for especially the ET8 lads, as Haribo goes deep into turn 1. Tajin's going to be able to come back at him as we're on board with Bell for a good view of this, and Tajin there covering the inside for turn 3 as Bell gets very close to the back of Haribo. But yeah, it's a big opportunity for both ET8 drivers, both drivers up there inside the top 4 right now. Juventus Racing, obviously Artem up there leading the race, and obviously you got what's called Eveline, or Evil 1 I should say, they're in P9, not too far off the back of Mikela, and this is big for both of those teams.
Yep, 100% massive is massive for them. Obviously, having a CPR all the way down in P14 is not helping at the moment, especially in these conditions where there is no DRS at the moment. But there's moves happening left, right, and centre at the moment on lap 1 and 2. Obviously, you've got Nojag and Heiny Hyde having a little bit of a go. Nojag on the right-hand side does get the better. Oh, he nearly has a bit of a hit there, but then he's going to be attacked by the McLaren going around the corner. Oh, he's just trying to keep his line there, and now he's being attacked by an Alpine. He's losing places left, right, and centre at the moment. But as you can see, everyone is so close together, and this battle in the midfield area between P11, 10, and 9 is really starting to heat up. As you can now see, Wessel is trying to get right on the back of Nojag. No DRS, unfortunately, so it is all about exit speed and how you are using your ERS. And as you can see already, Mike, Tajin is falling back from Kaipi in the Williams.
Yeah, as Shendrick having a look down the inside of Wessel, so you've spoken about the runs through the corners. He's trying to hang it around the outside of turn 4 actually, and he just couldn't get alongside for turn 5, but he gets onto the exit curb and he's going to lose out to B Tom and Toby there on the exit, and that is what one mistake can do to you. As Bell on the back of Haribo on the back of Tajin, it's going to be free wide. Oh no, not free wide into this corner, lads. Someone back out please, as it looks like, yep, Tajin did do the smart thing and back out there. It was definitely going to be an instant, and he gets a better run out of the chicane, and it's going to be free wide again. The battle for P4 getting spicy. The Ferrari down the inside of the McLaren. Is he going to be able to pull this off? Yes, he does. And a switch back there from Haribo. This is absolutely fantastic racing between these three. And look in behind, Evil 1 and Mikela, they're scrapping for P7. And they're being dragged into this fight as well, because they are closing up due to the three in front of them absolutely going wheel to wheel and absolutely elbows out to the fullest.
Yeah, great racing between P4, 5 and 6, but this is definitely helping Kaipi. He's now got a 3.5 second lead in front of Tajin as well, and you can now see he's a 1.6 and behind Brando, so it's between Brando and Adam, but Adam is pulling away, but the battle between Belbo, Haribo and Evil One is really kicking off, and there you go, a yellow, and it looks like we do have a safety car, Mike, on lap 4, and that is a bad accident, I must say, coming out of, it looks like it's Sector 1, yes.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the top 3 are not happy with this safety car right now because they had pulled such a gap over the rest of the field. Artem was outside that 1 second on Braddox, and Braddox was outside that 1 second at Cappy, so they would have hoped the safety car wouldn't have come out because they were under no real pressure from any of the cars around them. They could just focus on their own driving, but the safety car's going to bunch everyone back up, and we saw some of the battling at the start of the race where one mistake and you got overtaken by multiple drivers. It's going to happen again on this restart.
Yeah, like you said, they aren't going to be happy, obviously. Kaipi obviously having that 3.5 second lead to Tajin in P4. Now he's lost it, it's all going to be pulling back. But what do the guys do here? Do they pit? Do they all go on fresh inters? Do they stay out? Like, what's the strategy? Because it does look like it's drying, but I don't know what the rumours are in regards to the weather situation. Is it going to dry up later on stages? Are we going to have a dry race near the end, or is it going to be inters all the way through?
Well, the rain is definitely not falling as hard as it was at the start of the race, so it is going to dry out eventually. It's a little bit too soon for the dry tyres right now, but you never know with the safety car. Maybe it'll be dry tyres by the end of the safety car, but for the guys up at the front, it's going to be about just feeling what the tyres are like on these conditions. I mean, we're seeing fresh inters going on to Kiki and Raul they at the back, so the Juventus what's called the Alfa Romeo, sorry, not the Juventus, former Juventus driver, I should say, as he is in the Alfa Romeo, of course, meaning that he is representing the WOR team at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Me personally, I would not go into the pits, but
yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because you definitely have in that dry line. You can see there is a real dry line. Obviously, the rain is still coming down, which obviously will make the track more damper, but the problem is that as soon as that dries up, and we know what this game's like, how quick the track does dry up when it's ready to go dry. That this is going to be the problem. Is it going to catch these guys out? Obviously, everyone has decided to stay on the inters. Obviously, we're probably going to have one more lap of the safety car. Obviously, Raul Ruiz has decided to pit, and so has RVL Kliskner. So. And the problem is as well, this will change the strategy for the guys at the front, because you can see there that Adam did start to pull away. Kaipi does look like one to watch out for in that Williams, but what's your feeling? Do you think it's going to change things up, or do you think that Adam does have this race locked in if it's inters all the way?
Well, Artem's definitely showed so far that he does have the pace to pull away from Branox and Cappy and behind. So Artem definitely, in these conditions, does appear to have the pace on the drivers behind. It's going to come down to the strategy, when is going to be the best time to pit for dry tyres, because it does look like the rain is continuing to slow. This track's going to get drier and drier as we go on through the race, and it's going to be intriguing to find out who is going to be making that pit stop, because, I mean, you never know. If both ETA drivers, obviously Branox and Tajin, have to pit in at the same lap, Tajin's going to lose a lot of places having to double stack. And Evil One could also be at risk for the double stack as well with Adam. So it's going to be about when these guys pit. That's the thing that we're going to have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at that now, and yeah, you're 100% right. Even when even when the safety car is just about to come in, let's just go over that real quickly. Yeah, like you're saying, obviously Mercedes are not in a good position there. Obviously P1, P7, but the best one is probably is between, I'd say, the Williams, obviously P3 and P15, and Bell maybe between P5 and P10. So if it does come down to a pit stop strategy, then yeah, the Ferrari are definitely going to be in trouble. And we saw last week they had to do it again, and they had to double stack, and they lost out big time. So yeah, the pit stop strategy is going to make a difference. But you can definitely see a dry area on the track, and it's not raining that much. But yep, safety car coming in, and we'll have to see what Adam's going to do from this.
Yeah, I think Artem's already gone, and he has already got a decent gap to Brandux in behind, and the Ferrari's been caught a little bit napping here, getting a little bit out of shape, as it looks like Bell using a little bit of ERS to try and close up to the back of Tajin going into turn 1, but it's not going to be close enough to make a move. Everyone going to be sticking to the positions that they are currently holding right now, as Artem already cruising away, and Tajin's already 1 second behind Cappy.
Yeah, it was a really, really good break there from Adam on the safety car restart, but Tajin is really going up against Belbo, and he gets the job done. Belbo going a little bit slow coming out of Sector 1 there, but he's definitely going to be attacked by Haribo and Evil 1 as well, and I believe that this continues. This battle is not going to be over. It's been on for quite some time, and they're still on the back of each other. Obviously, Belbo now is having another go at Tajin, goes around the outside, coming into the lovely graveyard into Sector 2. How's he going to come out of the exit? Very well done so far. But yeah, definitely Evil 1 and Haribo are just there as well. And Heidi Hyde is definitely on the back of Mick Killer now, which is coming to the right, but decides just to step away for the time being. But yeah, watch out for this battle between P5, 6 and 7, because it's definitely not going away, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely not. And here comes Evil 1 down the inside of Haribo into the penultimate corner. He's going to have the outside for the final corner. If he can get a good run, he might be able to launch one into turn 1. And in fact, he doesn't need it, because Haribo's made a small mistake. Heidi Hyde in the back has gone off as well. So Heidi Hyde dropping down the order. Evil 1 down the inside into turn 1. And Evil 1 gets P6. And is that going to open things up for Me Killer now?
Yeah, Mick Killer's right on the back of Haribo. He's literally left the door wide open. He's not going to make the move, or is he? No, he's not. He's just going to stick back at the moment. They're just going to have to just take the time off a little bit. They've still got quite a lot of laps to go. The tyres are going to be starting to probably maybe warm up a little bit. You're 7 laps. Obviously, the Inters can go to the end. So, but this battle between Evil 1, Haribo, and Mick Killer is definitely not going away. You've now got No Jug as well. He's getting involved. He's got his teammate behind there, but he is right on the back of Matsuzozo in that Aston Martin at the moment. But yeah, definitely not helping him. Mick Killer's at it again. This time he's going around the outside. Haribo comes on the inside, goes on to the curb, but they go side by side, coming into Sector 3.
Contact with Cappy and Belbel and Tajin. They were battling for P3. Cappy has gone.
And the McLaren hit into the wall as well to avoid it, so he could have damage. So that's unfortunate, and that is a massive, massive loss there to IRT Cappy with no front wing, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, and Cappy is going to have to make that pit stop now, which is going to put him considerably behind, especially with it still being intermediate conditions out there. It would be ideal if it was a crossover point right now for Cappy to put on a set of drives, but it's just not quite there yet. As Tajin trying to close up to the back of Bell for P3. Obviously, he's got Evil 1 in behind. And this is actually, I'm going to say this right now, this is absolutely fantastic for ET8 and for Juventus Racing. Absolutely fantastic, because both of their drivers are inside the top 5. They have a gap to Mikela in behind. Haribo is dropped off the back of Mikela, possibly a little bit of damage on Haribo's car perhaps, but yeah, I mean, this is looking very good for the ET8 and Juventus Racing team, as both CPI drivers are being outscored quite considerably right now.
Definitely, and the team to watch out for, I've just seen this just on the stream, is the Aston Martins. So coming into Sector 1, they stay behind each other to get past the Williams with the slipstream, and it's worked, and they're both now in front, and No Jug literally just stayed behind to let his teammate go in front. Absolute phenomenal driving there by the Aston Martins. Great team spirit. So they'll be another ones to watch out for. P8 and P9 at the moment, and obviously Ferrari, like you said, are at the top at the moment. And obviously, yes, the CPIs in the Red Bulls in P6 and P11. But Evil One is getting right on the back of Bell again. 2.5 tenths. Remember, still no DRS, so it's still using your ERS, and he's got 32% against 56.
He's off the back end.
Oh, that's not what he's want to lose it now. And he's now got Tajin right behind him, which is now going to bring in Mick Killer. And Mick Killer could get even further up the of the grid. But this is fantastic. But out the front, Adam is just off to the sunset or off to the beach at the moment, Mike.
Yeah, Artem extending his lead at the front once again is 1.8 seconds, 1.9 seconds. And honestly, I think Braddock must have made a mistake somewhere, because I don't think he's got any damage on that Ferrari, but yeah, he's losing time hand over fist to Artem. But yeah, this battle right now for the final spot on the podium between Bell, Evil One, Tajin and Mikela definitely beginning to get a little bit spicy. Evil One definitely. Oh my God, Bell's lost it in front of Evil One. I can't believe what I've just witnessed, and I think that is damage for all the drivers in behind. I think Tajin visually looks like he's managed to get away with it. Evil One definitely has damage. Mikela looks like he's got away with it, but I have no words for that. Bell has just lost it, and Evil One, unfortunately, has to come into the pits for damage. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin's trade positions, No Jug now ahead of Toby in P6 now. The Mysterion coming through up into P8, and CPI B Thom has managed to get himself up into P9. So CPI slowly starting to come back into this.
Yes, and I don't know if you've noticed, there is some penalties. So Adam does have a 3 second, and he is out in front at the moment, and obviously Toby does, and then we've also got Mysterion, and you've also noticed as well that 2 of the top runners have had the spin. So we lost Bell, he's now down into P11, and we lost Dan Kaipi, who's down into P19. So still making mistakes here, but I'll tell you something, watch out for these Aston Martins. They are doing a phenomenal job. As you can see, Mysterion is literally right behind, and he doesn't seem to get the job done. Look at the defending that the Aston Martin driver is doing. He's just sticking it in the positions that he can't get past, and you can see that it's making it very, very difficult for that Williams to get past. That is, he goes a little bit too wide. He's got the job done, but you could see there he was trying to hold that position up, but it didn't obviously work. He's now got in front. Does have a 6 second penalty though, so Toby will probably come back at him. But yeah, this 3 seconds for Adam is going to be interesting. I think it happened again last week in Belgium, and it's happened again in Australia, but this time he needs to be able to break the gap with not many laps remaining if there is a safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this, the Mysterion actually going onto the grass to try and get through on No Jug there. No Jug defending well though, as the Mysterion is going to try around the outside to see if he can get that done. A little bit of contact, and that's going to allow Toby to get back through. And yet Toby back up into P7. Looking at the chat, obviously supporting that for the Evil One Juventus driver as Mysterion gets back through, and so does Botham. Gets through on Toby, who gets a little bit wayward, and look at him behind. Bell trying to go for an overtake on Wessel, but Wessel's trying to go for an overtake on Toby. So Wessel around the outside, is he going to be able to get this done? He'll have the inside for the second part, and he does get it done, but look at Bell there again, a fantastic run out of the chicane, and potentially could be looking at a move down the inside. He's going to go for it. Meanwhile, in behind, you got Raul going for a move on Toby, and unable to get that move done as both Belwell and Raul has to stay in place right now.
Oh, and they've all lost it on the corner coming out of Sector 3. Belbel has lost it again. Toby has lost it again, and he's beached. No, he's not. He's had to reset the track, unfortunately. I don't know what the rules are for DKM in that. But again, Belbel has another spin, and it was looking so promising. And Toby losing from P7 all the way down to P16. So these guys making mistakes left, right, and centre, having little spins as well. Brando, obviously 2 seconds behind Adam at the moment, still has that penalty. Closest battle is probably Mikula with Tajin, but there's still battles going on in that midfield. And you can now see, Mike, that the Alpine and LP8 and P9.
Yeah, Raul going deep into turn 3, and that has compromised him, has allowed Heinheid and Bree to get through into P9 and P10 respectfully. We have had a request for the penalties situation, so I will show the penalty situation as it currently is right now. So Adam on 3 seconds, we got 6 seconds for Bree and for Raul as either one gets through on Kiki. 6 seconds for Cappy, 3 seconds for Belbel, 11 seconds for Mysterion, who's just been overtaken by Matt Zozo, who has 3 seconds to his name, and Toby also on 3 seconds. So that is the penalties as it currently stands. As moving back up towards the front, Wessel into the pits now on lap 14. This will be for another set of intermediates. It is too wet for the dry tyres currently, and honestly I'm wondering what when it's going to dry out, if it does dry out. I mean, it might be intermediates for the entire race. We haven't received any word that it's going to be drying up towards the end, so hopefully we can get confirmation of that at some point. But I mean, as it currently stands, Adam is and hides out the race, and that's another safety car here on lap 14, and looks like he's lost it on the exit of turn 4, and he has gone around. And honestly, absolute saving grace right now for Evil One, for Belbel and Cabby, and obviously for all the drivers that have been caught up in incidents and had to pit for new front wings and everything. They have absolutely had a saving grace here.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the safety car just changes again, the whole dynamic. So I was unfortunately for Heine Hyde there. But this is not going to help Adam at all, because he's got that 3 seconds, and Brando and Tajin are literally right behind, and they will be able to double stack here because they do have time. As you can see, Brando's now coming in. Tajin is now Brando has just gone out. Tajin is now coming in, so Ferrari have timed that to a T, and well, if they stay out, then they're going to stay P2 and P3, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like that they could lose out. But yeah, Adam having that 3 seconds is not going to help, and there you go. The Ferraris are going to come out 2 and 3, so there's going to be major pressure on the Mercedes driver in Adam. But I don't think this is going to dry out, Mike. I really don't. I think we are going to be going to inters all the way to the end.
I mean, potentially we'll have to wait and see what happens with the weather conditions. Wessel comes out ahead of the drivers that were in the pits. He comes out behind his teammate in Bree. Obviously Belbel and Matt Zorzo in 10th and 11th. Evil One making a fresh pit stop and coming out in P13. Of course, a lot of support for Evil One in the chat, and of course we had Leonardo in the chat reminding me that Raul is now with WOR. I did notice, mate, don't worry. I just read his gamer tag out and then checked just to refresh my memory of which team it is in the Alfa Romeo. So don't worry, I know he wasn't part of Juventus anymore.
Also, another quick question for you would be, is the Red Bulls, P4 and P7, obviously were falling down right at the back, but they've managed to get through due to mistakes at the moment, and Mick Killer's going to be one to watch out for, but also CPI Botham as well. He's going to be another one. Do you feel that they've got the pace to get in front of the Haas and the Aston Martin? Because Harry Bow and No Jug have had a pretty good race so far.
I mean, I think there's a very good possibility for Botham to try and make his way through, especially if we're going to see some Red Bull tactics from Mikela, maybe backing him up. But we've seen Harry Bow get very racy in this race and have his elbows out. Mikela as well to that respect. No Jug essentially has been driving around with his teammate for majority of the race, obviously trading positions back and forth. Had a little bit of a battle earlier on in the race, so it's going to be interesting. I think Tom can try and get his way through.
Yeah, and the other question is, are the Ferraris going to be able to make a jump? They did very, very well at the beginning of the race. Obviously, we're very, very close to Adam, but if you're looking at the time situation, Adam is a lot quicker. He's doing a 1:26.8, and Brando and Tajin have only done a 1:27.4 and a 1:28.8. Now, does that cause a little bit of a problem there? Because you know that Adam does have the pace for the Ferraris, because they are going to probably have to work together to get Adam. As we've seen, he's been pretty quick, but the driver that is the quickest has been Kaipi, who's done a 1:26.4, and he's at the back with his teammate Mysterium. So what's your thoughts there on the Ferraris and the Mercedes?
Well, here's the thing that you have to take in consideration is that Kaipi was on fresh intermediates and Adam when he set that time, so Kaipi potentially could be the quickest, but when they were at the same tyre life early on in the race, we saw Adam pull away from not only Braddock's but also Kaipi as well, and that is a late call in from the safety car at the penultimate corner, and that is not what these drivers would have wanted. That's a very late call in from the safety car right there, and Adam's going to have to really get this restart underway and get going tidy, and he's actually done very well. Toby with a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Matt Zozo, as it looks like Mikela's going to get the move done on Tajin around the outside at turn 1. The Red Bull and the Ferrari wheel to wheel, as No Jug and CPI from him behind side by side. It looks like Evil went out of the race. That is not good for the viewers, because the viewers fully supported Evil One. Evil One is out of the race, and another safety car has come out here on lap 17. It's literally just come in and is back out.
Yeah, that was, but that was not the best decision there that he decided to make, to go to the pits for the safety car, and that definitely threw off Adam and the rest of the guys as well. But the biggest winner there is Mick Killer, obviously getting that job done on the Ferraris. Obviously, Evil One losing it as well and being out of the race. That, like you said, that is not going to help the Mercedes, obviously, with those big points there. Obviously, they're both, well, you've got one car now, and then obviously the other Mercedes is out, but yeah, Mick Killer getting in front of Ferraris, that's a really good start there, and also Botham as well, getting in front of No Jug as well, so it's now literally only 2 spots away from the Red Bulls being together, and the Ferraris now being sandwiched in the middle of a Red Bull. Will be very interesting to see how, probably I would say maybe we probably may just get one more lap on the safety car, but this is definitely not helping Adam with this 3 seconds at all, Mike. At all.
Yeah, absolutely not. And obviously this is the 3rd safety car that we've had in this race thus far. Obviously these conditions are definitely playing havoc on the drive-in here at the moment. But Adam is still, in my opinion, Adam's still the fastest driver on these intermediates. Is it going to stay indoors for the race, the entire race? I mean, it's looking likely, but I'm still holding out hope that it does dry out.
Hope is an understatement, my friend. It definitely does. Every time I keep looking at the screen, I'm just seeing drops of rain. So I'm like, no, I don't think it's going to. But yeah, no, I do agree. Artem is the quicker car, but McKiller has just gone up from one spot, so he's just sandwiched himself in the middle there. So he does it again. Is he going to be able to start now pushing the pressure on Artem, because he does have that 3 seconds? So he's going to want to try and push that gap as soon as possible. But the problem is he's running out of time. When we get to lap 19, we've got 10 laps to go, and obviously no DRS still, and if it still enters, he really needs to put the pedal to the metal, and he's going to have to really burn some of that ERS to get away. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to be able to pull that 3 seconds, unless the only way that it can happen is if Brando and Mick Hiller have a battle.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. We saw Artem just on pure pace pull 2 seconds on Brandox before the second safety car came out. Obviously, in terms of pace, Artem should be able to pull away. It's a question of will he be able to pull away enough over the course of the remaining races. And for some reason, I've gone into a fancy broadcast camera, and now I am absolutely perplexed.
It's broadcast safety car. Codemasters throwing balls at us every time. They love to mix things up, eh?
How has it gone to broadcast? I swear we was in immersive for the other safety cars. What's going on here?
I know, it's Codemasters playing funny games with us again. It's a cool, don't get me wrong, it is a cool, how do I say it? It is a cool little video, and they also do it on the formation lap as well, so you don't actually have to do the formation lap. The cars will actually go around on a broadcast of a formation lap. So when the car, it's a real pain for the drivers, because when the safety car goes in, it gives you 3, 2, 1, then you take control of your car, and if you're not careful, you will hit the car. You will hit the car. You need to brake straight away, basically. So it's not the best situation to have.
Yeah, but the thing is that the other safety cars were in immersive. Like, the drivers had full control over everything. We weren't in broadcast for the other safety cars. So how it is switched from one to the other mid-race, this is all levels of glitches that I have never seen before. But we are looking on the back of that safety car wing right now, and we're seeing Artem's Mercedes. Obviously, the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. And once again, the drivers should have control. Safety car in this lap, so the drivers once again have control of their cars. That was very strange indeed, as Cappy in the chat was saying, broadcast mode. WTF. Exactly what I was thinking, Cappy. WTF. But Artem will be getting us underway again, and hopefully no more safety cars. But looks like Artem... he could have gone right there. Braddock's made a small mistake, and Artem just wasn't able to get down there. But we are underway. Green flag racing once again as we begin lap 21 of 29. Artem leads ahead of Braddock's in second place. Mikela in third, with Tajin in fourth, Haribo in fifth, Tom in sixth, No Jug in seventh, Bell in eighth, and oh my god, that's Wessel in the wall and dropping down massive positions there.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm just going to say there that Artem got that all wrong on the safety car restart. Didn't go to plan, and he's got Brando behind him. He's pulling away a little bit now. He was very, very close together there, and probably the reason why that broadcast thing, McKinnon might have wanted to change his mind a little bit, maybe. Want to just change things up, but yeah, it's probably, I would say, definitely a glitch. But Tajin now trying to get back to the of Mick Killer and with his teammate to help him out at the moment. But as you can see here, Brando 6.5 tenths behind. Botham is now trying to get out of the way of Haribo, but Haribo is absolutely flying behind him. As you can see, he's 2.5 attempts. He's going to try to want to get the move done as quick as possible. I will say that we probably may get some penalties here, which could change the whole dynamics of this race, but look how close Haribo is to Botham. He's going to go around the outside. How are you going to be able to put it around there? If he pulls it around, that is phenomenal, but it doesn't seem like he is. He's going to get the exit. Is he going to be able to get the job done? I think they're going to go side by side into turn one. I can still see, no, he's going to stay behind him, but he's also got No Jug, who's literally going beside him as well. Has a little bit of a wheel bang there, pushes Haribo over to the right, and No Jug has lost control and fallen back, so that little bit of a bang of the tyres did definitely not help No Jug there, and now getting attacked by Bell, so not helping the Aston Martin driver there whatsoever.
There's another safety car that has come out, and I'm not entirely sure what that was for. I think Kiki might have had a moment, or maybe I think we're
Mysterium.
The pits.
Mysterium doesn't have a front wing.
Ah. Well, that has absolutely... It's thrown a complete spanner in the works, because now I don't think Artem is going to have the time to pull the gap.
Changed your tune?
Well, you think about it, safety car's going to be out for another 2 laps.
Yeah, I think the other thing as I'm looking at is the penalties from everyone from P17 up to P8 has a penalty.
And of course, we for the final stint in this race, we're not going to be looking at the penalties because we want to keep it in suspense. So hopefully you guys remembered what's called the penalty situation when we saw him on the broadcast under the safety car conditions. Matt's also into the pits. I believe we'll see Mysterion into the pits as well. So lap 23 of 29 we are going to be under the safety car, and I believe we should be going once again to begin lap 25 if everyone catches up in time. So not many laps of racing left. Artem needing to pull a 3-second gap to Braddock's. I just don't see that happening unless Mikela can put some serious pressure on Braddock's at the beginning.
Yeah, no, you're right there. Obviously, that 3 seconds has hurt him, but a big, massive situation to CPR Botham. He's made 15 places up in that P5, and as we were talking about earlier, we were talking about the Red Bulls being further out of the points from the ET8 guys, and at the moment they're literally right behind them. So how things have changed very, very quickly. But the problem is, oh no, Haribo's had a spin and he's dropped all the way down into P13. That is absolute drama for him. That is so unfortunate because he's had such a fantastic race, and now he is all the way down in P13, Mike. He was right behind Botham. Oh.
Yep, Haribo has made a costly mistake and has dropped all the way down to P13. The one saving grace for Haribo, I think, is that obviously everyone has a penalty ahead of him up to P7 in Bell. So as long as he stays close enough to Bell in terms of a time penalty, he should be able to jump back up to 7th. So in the grand scheme of things, he'd only end up losing the 1 spot to No Jug. But yeah, that is a heartbreaking mistake for Haribo there, the RVL driver. But in terms of the top 5, so obviously earlier in the race we had both ET8 drivers and both Juventus Racing drivers up there, and of course the CPI drivers were dropping down the order. Now, however, Juventus are down 1 driver, Evil 1 out of the race. Artem is in the lead but has a 3-second time penalty, and big question marks whether Artem can pull that 3-second gap to maintain the race win. You have the ET8 team that are currently sitting P7 in the championship on 36 points. And you have the CPI drivers, 3rd and 5th in... Oh, no, not the broadcast cam again.
Oh, don't we just love it? Don't we just love the glitches that Cody's throw us? But carry on with your conversation, Mike, before you lose it.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the CPI drivers in 3rd and 5th, and everyone below 7th below, apart from Haribo, having penalties, it's unlikely that we're going to see anything less than CPI extending their lead in the championship. Of course, with the broadcast camera, it's actually ruined the suspense now through for the penalties, because it shows the penalties again. So
I just realised that. Yeah, I'm just looking up on the stream and I'm just seeing it. So yeah, that suspense is gone. So, which is unfortunate. The question is, though, Mike, are the Red Bulls going to be able to put the pressure on the Ferraris? That's going to be the biggest question. You got Brando in P2, Tajin in P4, and Mikula in P3, and Botham in P5. And if Botham manages to get on the podium, he is definitely 100% my driver of the day, because he has made up 15 places. But the question is, before I take it away for you, is Adam going to be able to get the best safety car restart this time than he did last time round?
He absolutely needs to, and it's his only chance of trying to break away early on and allow Braddock's to come under pressure from Mikela. But Adam needs a good restart here, and he's actually got a great restart in the grand scheme of things, and we are going to be back racing once again as we begin lap 26. Adam leads the way from Braddock's in 2nd place, Mikela in 3rd, Tajin in 4th, Botham in 5th, and No Jug in 6th. Obviously, dropping back already, the top 5 have broken away from No Jug, as down towards the back, the Mysterion and Kiki, they're going to be trading positions down towards the back. Of course, they're on fresh intermediate, so are they going to come into play? Kiki is retired from the session, and it's another safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Race over for Adam.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a real shame to obviously get those safety cars right to the end. Obviously, we're probably just gonna get maybe 1 lap or even 2 laps of racing, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's a shame when that happens, because obviously it gets the guys into a momentum. They then restart, then have to restart again, and it just changes it up. But wet conditions is obviously a very, very difficult race to race in anyway. So to get those guys that obviously have kept on track, yeah, big congratulations to you. But No Jug falling all the way down into P15 as well after having such a phenomenal race, and Toby getting that penalty as well, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, like you said, I think that's done and dusted for Adam, which is such a shame, because he is going to lose out quite a lot here, Mike.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm just going to say it right now. I think the lobby has glitched, because the safety car seems to be coming out for every small incident. And obviously, it has switched from being on immersive for the safety car to being on broadcast, which is an indication there. Ooh, interesting there in the chat. Hadrick saying Adam removing his penalty after the race?
Well, that definitely throws a big spanner in the works. It'll be interesting to see how he's actually got that penalty in the first place. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting in the stewards box.
What is going on there with Mysterion and Matt Zozo? We're in the safety car conditions, lads. You can't overtake.
Yeah, and we know that if you overtake it, you get disqualified straight away, so you've got to watch out for that. But I think it was allowed to come out, because there is 3 laps of racing technically left, so a safety car can come out again after the safety car. But yeah, this broadcast camera is back up yet again.
I'm checking the settings. I'm checking the settings.
I do love it, though. I've got to admit, I do love it. I think it is a real good bit of cool information to
It's
bring
gone on the
in, but
broadcast. It was on. It was actually on. It was. I'm not gonna lie, right? The early safety car in the race was actually on immersive. Right? We didn't have the broadcast on the immersive. I checked it.
I think Mick
We.
Keller wants to play games with us. I think he wants to change it a little bit, maybe. I don't know. He just wants to change things up. But yeah, will definitely be very interesting to see if Adam does get that penalty removed. And then there's another penalty there for Toby with a 5 second for ignoring.
Yeah, but it's on the broadcast.
Yellow
You
flags.
didn't have control of it.
I
The game's
know.
broken.
It's like, how does he avoid that penalty? So yeah, some of these penalties will be very questionable. But is Brando, if this penalty gets removed, gonna be able to make a jump with 2 laps remaining on Adam? This is going to be the question. He's getting on the safety car restart. Here we go. Is Adam going to be able to get a better safety car restart? No, he doesn't. He's still behind him. Still, he seems to lose a little bit of grip coming out of that final corner there. But Brando is right behind him at the moment. Now Brando really does have to go for it. He does, because if he doesn't have the 3 seconds and he doesn't know anything about it, he could lose this race due to that penalty. And this is going to be the interesting one. Oh, McKellar nearly goes into the back of Brando. Just had to put the brakes on there. And is this going to be the question? Is Botham going to be able to get to past Tejin? Because Bell is literally right behind him. He does have that penalty. And we've got another retirement, and that's Mysterian in the pits. But can Brando get past Adam with 2 laps remaining, Mike?
Potentially, as Bell gets through on Botham. Botham actually dropping back quite considerably, and that is not good for the CPI driver. Obviously, Mika would want his teammate there, right there with him. As look at this, around the outside goes Botham. Is he going to be able to get this move done? Swoops around the outside, left the inside for the next corner, and he's able to get it done. But Bell is going to try and come back at it. Meanwhile, Raul and Majin going to go side by side in behind, as you see Bree weaving around trying to look for an overtaking opportunity. Bell though has to settle back behind Botham, and that is a big gap. So I mean, in terms of the time penalty, I mean, Adam will drop to P4 obviously once this penalty comes to fruition, but if he's able to get removed, it will be he's still on for a race win. And honestly, since that was put in the chat, I think that has been communicated to Brandox, because Brandox really trying to get past Adam now.
Yeah, I just see there on that straight, on that last straight there. Are we going to have more shenanigans in Belgium? Is this going to come down to the final lap? Because Brandox, as you were saying, he was extremely close to Adam on that straight. 3.5 tenths, but he's just pulling away. Adam has got more ERS, so this should be an easy win here if Adam can get it. But he just needs one mistake from Adam, and Brandox has got him. The question is Tajin going to be able to get Mick Killer as well? Because he's 5.5 tenths. Mick Killer just seems to be a little bit too far back, so I think P2 is gone for him at the moment. But yeah, I just think it's going to run out here unless Brandox can find 100k somewhere on a slipstream.
Looking at this battle for P6, Raul Riz trying to get this move done, and he's actually compromised himself, because here comes Martian going to get through up into P7, but I will be transferring back up towards the front in just a moment, as it's all getting a bit hectic there back for P7. But Adam comes through the final corner, and he is going to take the victory out on track. But of course, with that penalty, he'll drop down behind Brandox, CPI Mikala and ETA Tajin. Both of them will come home in P5, and now we're going to be seeing some changes in terms of the penalties and shifting around, as it is RCR Bell who will come home in P6. Majin up into P7 with the penalties at the end. No Jug in 8th. And we'll run you for the rest of the order momentarily. Botham does get driver of the day by the in-game fans, and honestly I think he's going to get driver of the day from us as well. Fantastic performance from last up into P5 for the CPI man. So I think we can both say driver of the day, but what a incredibly Interesting race, especially with the safety car there. I think it was a glitched lobby. Obviously, at the start of the session, we were on immersive in terms of the safety car. Drivers had complete control, especially under the first safety car, and I believe they had complete control in the second safety car as well. The third safety car was when it switched to broadcast for some reason.
Yeah, no, a little bit of a disappointment right at the end with all the safety cars and obviously with the glitches, but some great driving by the guys. Obviously, if Adam does end up taking away the win, he also got the fastest lap as well, so it's another
Yeah,
extra point. I don't know if that is the situation with you guys if you do give the point for extra fastest lap. So a great drive by him. But yeah, in regards to drive of the day, CPI Botham there, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, like literally P20 to P5. So just kept himself clean. And that's a really, really good finish for the CPIs there from where they were at the beginning of the race, being in... oh, well, I think one of them was in the top 5 and one of them was like P15. So Mick Killer to get P2, if it stands, P2 or P3, is a phenomenal result by the CPIs.
yeah, and of course with the screen no longer on the results, I have to rewind the stream just so I can go for the results one more time. It is, of course, Braddock who takes the win provisionally, mind. We will say provisionally for now, because we don't know if Adam's going to be able to get his penalty removed. Provisionally, Braddock takes the win ahead of Mikela in second place and Tashin in third. Adam in fourth. Remember, he got pole position. He has the fastest lap. If he gets that penalty removed, he'll have the race win, which will be a grand slam for the Juventus racing driver. CPI Tom in fifth, with Bell in sixth, Majin in seventh, No Jug in eighth, Haribo in ninth, Matt Zozo in 10th, with Bree in 11th, Cappy in 12th, Raul in 13th, Toby in 14th, and then our non-finishers were, of course, as I'm waiting for myself to scroll down here, obviously the Mysterion being a non-finisher, Evil 1 also not seeing the checkered flag, but we'll run you through it right now. So the Mysterion, Kiki, Wessel, Evil 1, Henhide and Neil Shendrick all not seeing the checkered flag. And ladies and gentlemen, just I'm going to check it again. I am actually, now we are back in the lobby, I am checking the rules and flags. Still says broadcast. Incredible stuff. As yeah, we had a unfortunate glitch with the safety cars, but yeah, that is going to bring an end to round number 6 here in Australia. We will be back next week for round number 7, and where we'll be going racing at, we'll be heading to Montreal for the Circuit Jules Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix, another track that can throw up some mixed weather conditions. And of course, any final words on tonight's race, SJ?
Yeah, no, a great drive again from Adam. Obviously, we've seen him in the last 2 races, Belgium and tonight at Albert Park, Australia, that he has definitely got the pace. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in Canada if we do have the lovely dry conditions. But yes, for me, probably the final words I've got to say is next week's going to be really interesting because, like you say, Canada does give a bit of a spicy race, especially that turn 1 and turn 2 as well. Going down that hill, there's a lot of penalties you can get there, and you've also got the overtake before the Wall of Champions. So are we going to see any cars in the Wall of Champions? That's going to be the question. But to the podium sitters tonight, a great race after stopping and starting on the safety car. But yeah, top drive by CPI Botham.
Yeah, absolutely, I couldn't echo that more. So guys, we'll be back next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. I have been Ivan Mike. He has been SJ the One. Until next time, goodbye.